You're listening to the Straight to Video podcast with Rob Lane.
Welcome along to a brand new and I think officially the most metal episode yet of the Straight to Video podcast. If not that, then certainly the loudest, as today's guest is none other than the legendary Blaze Bayley of Wolfsbane and formerly Iron Maiden. Blaze is still very much the frontman of Wolfsbane, who formed in Tamworth near Birmingham in the mid-80s, but is also a successful and independent solo artist with a brand new album, War Within Me, which is out now and being described as the best thing he's done in his career so far. I had to let Blaze know that he was the very first frontman I ever saw live when Wolfsbane opened for Iron Maiden in Derby way back in 1990, which he amazingly recalled that particular gig, but there's so much other fun stuff in this chat. I know a lot of people want to know about his time with Maiden, but there's bunches of interviews out there talking about that, so I was more than happy to dive into some other cool stuff, such as why Wolfsbane didn't make the cut in the Dave Grohl Sound City documentary, even though they recorded there. That certainly pushes some buttons. We chat about the life-changing gig that made Blaze realise he wanted to be a singer, and we also talk a lot about becoming a truly independent musician, and to hear the passion behind all of this is certainly inspiring. As always though, I want to shout to my friends at Dead Skull Coffee for continuing to support this podcast by offering you, the listener, 15% off their ground and full bean coffee. Simply head on over to deadskullcoffee.co.uk, fill your shopping cart, then just add the discount code STV on checkout. Also, there is a Straight to Video Patreon page, which I'd love it if you'd consider checking out over at patreon.com/STVpod, where you can get behind the scenes access to this show, a bonus podcast, and even some exclusive merchandise that won't be available anywhere else. I really appreciate everyone who has jumped on board and continues to be part of a lovely community over there. Alright, strap yourselves in, because things are about to get loud. If you have any ounce of energy left after this episode, then be sure to head on over to blazebayley.net, where you can find all the info on Blaze's album War Within Me, lots of great merch, and all his upcoming tour dates. But before all that, please enjoy what is probably one of my most favourite chats yet with the heavy metal legend that is Blaze Bayley. How you doing, Blaze Bayley? Looking very festive.
Thank you. I'm a festive person, really. I'm trying to get people on board with my Christmas song.
Okay.
I'm disappointed, really. I thought it would be part of the whole thing of Christmas, it's one of the songs you've got to listen to at Christmas. For my fans,
yeah,
it is. But for the general population of the world, it hasn't got through yet, and I'm hoping you can help me.
We can do that. We can start the campaign right now.
Okay, my song is called Crazy Christmas. Okay, I'll do a bit for you now. Crazy, crazy Christmas. All right, now that's available on all the digital platforms that you would normally get crap Christmas songs on, but you can get my good Christmas song on there as well. I don't think people are deliberately avoiding it. They just don't know about it.
It's up against Ed Sheeran and Elton John, though, you see.
Yeah, well, really, I would say that the listeners on your show will probably say, because they have real taste, your listeners will say, no, actually, this is the best Christmas song compared to Ed Sheeran. Bublé, oh, yeah, another B-man. Yeah, maybe. Bit of competition with Bublé. I still think Crazy Christmas, Blaze Bayley, I think it could do it. With your support, Rob.
It's starting now, Blaze. It's starting now.
Thank you.
What's your favourite rock and roll Christmas song? Have you got a favourite other than your own?
Well, Merry Christmas, everybody. I really like that. What's the New York one with him in it?
Oh, yeah, the Pogues and Kirsty MacColl.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that one. I find that I'm drawn to sad and melancholy songs.
Yes.
I'm drawn to it. I think that's my favourite, but it's not a rocker, but it is a really atmospheric, beautiful song.
Thank you ever so much for doing this for us. I appreciate it.
Very, very welcome. Thank you for having me on your show.
How have the recent shows been going? You've been doing some great venues.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I had COVID and I just managed to recover to do my 4 shows: Glasgow, Grimsby, Newcastle, Manchester. Fantastic reactions.
How's that new Yardbirds set up?
Oh, man, it's incredible. It's too good for me. I said that when I went there. I said, it's too good for me now. Fantastic sound there. Been a great venue in the best traditions of music.
Proper real grassroots venue, isn't it?
Yeah, I love music there. And also, it's one of those places which, because it's completely independent, then you can phone up and say, look, I'm desperate for a gig. And I go, okay, come in. And that's it. And when I have been desperate and done that, they've really supported me and helped me. And now I'm doing a lot better. You know, it's great to be going back and see them doing a lot better. And it's absolutely fantastic there, man. It really is a beautiful, beautiful venue, the way they've done it.
Wicked. And you're going to be at KK Steel Mill in Wolverhampton, which is a tremendous new venue, which has got like this real rock and roll heart to it.
It's unreal, Rob, KK's, because what they can do there is they have this huge space and they build the stage and put the stage according to the band that's coming in. So you can have it widthways, massive wide stage, you can have it lengthways, or you can reduce it for smaller bands or more intimate experience. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
It's like it's been built by rock fans for rock fans.
Yeah, it's a very nice place.
First off, full disclosure, my first ever gig, Derby Assembly Rooms, October the 11th, 1990.
No!
No Prayer on the Road with Wolfsbane.
Wow. Derby Assembly Rooms. I think on stage that night we talked about space aliens.
Probably.
Reading in the paper, there was a bloke who said he saw a space alien and then it was something that his neighbour had a fish tank on his head or something. There was a bit of banter between me and Bruce that night, as well, as far as I remember. Like a square room with curtains down the side. I remember it, man, Derby. It was a fantastic gig. Absolutely fantastic.
First ever frontman I ever saw. Game changer.
Yeah? Wow.
Yeah. Nuts, man. And I'm coming to you from just outside Derby. Didn't you record your demo, Wasted But Dangerous, at the Square Dance Studios in 1988?
Yes, we did those at Square Dance, and we call it the green demo and the red demo because that was the colour of the covers. And Wasted But Dangerous had Limo and Loco on it. 2 big songs for us. Loco still in the set now, and Limo, great song as well, really laid back, nice vibe to it. So it was an important thing. We learned a lot. You know, we saved up all our money, 24-track studio, and we had a lot of help from the guys there and everything. And it turned out really well. And that was the demo that Rick Rubin found after he read an article, a little review of Wolfsbane, which was on the same page as Slayer, who he was a producer of, when Wolfsbane supported King Diamond in Hammersmith Odeon. And he tracked down that demo tape, and it had our phone number on, and Rick Rubin phoned me at home.
Phoned you?
Oh, it's Wolfsbane. Obviously, I was living with Jace at the time, Jace Edwards and his mum and dad. But impressive was he phoned me at home, you know. Exaggerating for dramatic effect. So if Rick Rubin, I say it's not. He goes, it is, it's Rick Rubin, America. And that was it. We got signed up to Deaf America. We went to Los Angeles. We made the first album in the world famous What's It Studios, what's it called, that one there? The Nirvana, Metallica, Sound City Studios.
Holy shit.
Yeah, we recorded there. We were in there for a month, 6 weeks. We rehearsed just over the road before.
Why aren't you in the Dave Grohl documentary?
I'll tell you why. Because, and I'm not proud of this, okay? I'm not proud, I'm not bragging. You've asked the question, Rob. You've let the snake out of the basket, as it were, right? Grohl does a big documentary. Now, the only part is the receptionist who said, oh yeah, I remember a band called Wolfsbane from England, right? Because I got really fed up. I was a young man filled with angst. I got really fed up. I had a bit too much to drink. I walked up that studio to have it out with Rick Rubin, the producer. I stormed up there, man, walked up there about 3 or 4 miles from where the apartment where I was staying. Got there, I banged on that door. They wouldn't let me in. I kicked the fucking door down. All right? At Sound City Studios, world famous studios. I kicked the door in. Yeah, I kicked the door in. Samworth, Avid, hello, aggro. Here we are. So that's why. Because, of course, Dave Grohl, oh, the wonderful Sound City Studios, la-di-da. Oh, and he's all, oh, we started as a garage band and all like that. Well, come and have a bit of time with aggro. I kicked the door in. And because I'm the real thing, I am absolutely driven by passion and emotion, then it's too much for him. Oh, we don't want them dirty English punks on there.
Oh, man.
So I'm not in the Dave Grohl documentary. I don't give anything about Dave Grohl. My album,
Yes.
that's better than anything Dave Grohl has ever done. My word.
Oh, yes. We got him going.
Yeah, well, you know, to me, Dave Grohl, I'm sorry, mate, he's just not metal.
From the words of a metal legend, summing it up right there.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm not in there,
Mate.
obviously. Because I went in, I smashed the receptionist remembers me as a lovely, charming lad, but she never went out with me when I was drunk.
How did the Sunset Strip respond to Wolfsbane when you were recording?
Oh, man. Right, so Steve Danger, I mean, one of the grooviest drummers you'll ever sing with. It just make you move, man. Just watching him with no sound, he'll make you move. An outrageous character, Steve Danger from Wolfsbane. So get this, it's Halloween on Sunset Strip, and a common thing, a tradition at this time is people getting dressed up, all Halloween vibes, la-di-da, taking the kids down Sunset Strip, you know, all freaky things, and everyone is looking, what's this sound? Clock, 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 clock. Everyone's looking around. It's Steve Danger. He's wearing clogs, walking up Sunset Strip, and everyone, this is America, this is a famous Halloween thing, right? Everyone in the Halloween costumes, no matter what, they're just looking at this guy walking up in a stripy jumper in clogs. Clog. I've never seen anything like it.
Where did he get the clogs from? Surely he didn't bring them over in his suitcase.
Where do you think he got them? Hebden Bridge, where they invented clogs. My word. My word, man. This is a myth about Dutch invented clogs. They invented clogs in Hebden Bridge. And that's where we stopped off on the tour. I forget, which probably might have been that tour that you were at, actually. We stopped off on the tour at Hebden Bridge and we all bought clogs. That's it.
Decided to take him to America.
And Steve, they're the most comfortable shoes. He said, oh, yeah. And he took them to America and he wore them nearly all, apart from when he was skateboarding, obviously.
Dude, that's incredible. I'd love to have seen that.
Yeah, man. Well,
that's when you needed iPhones.
Yeah, there's nothing then. But that's exactly what happened. Everyone on Sunset Strip on Halloween night, the most crazy thing was Steve Danger walking down the road wearing clogs.
Meant. I love the fact that a band from Tamworth can get a record deal and work with Rick Rubin, but not just that, go and work with Brendan O'Brien afterwards.
I know, it's mad. And I'll tell you what, we learned so much from Brendan O'Brien. Incredible musician, a fantastic producer, great songwriter, really good singer as well. He could communicate really well in a rehearsal, pre-production situation where we'd be going round, especially in Wolfsbane, things were a little bit hit and miss with our songwriting. Some things worked and other things it was a miss. Well, why doesn't that work? And Brendan would go, okay, try this here. You see this? Yeah. Oh, hang on. Yeah, try that there. I was like, okay, yeah. All right, you got that? Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, right, yeah, we could do it. And it went like that. And he did All Hell's Breaking Loose at Little Kathy Wilson's place. And it was just amazing. We had this crazy little idea. It was about 15 seconds of do-de-do-de-do-de-do, do-de-do-de-do, with a bit of drums. That's all we had of it. And he said, oh, well, actually, it goes there. And he said, oh, yeah, it does.
He just heard it from that little snippet.
Yeah, and it's one of the songs that Wolfsbane are most known for. And things like that, I think we learned so much. By the next album, which we're very fortunate to record in Abbey Road Studios. Yeah, that's not Abbey Road, Dorset. That's Abbey Road, London, where the Beatles recorded. And we were in the same room as what the Beatles were and Queen at some time in their career. We were there. We didn't kick any doors in, though. There. Not at all. Great place, great stuff, wonderful sound. And we recorded at Abbey Road, man, in the big room where the Beatles had recorded and everything. Incredible experience. And that was our Downfall of Good Guys album. So much great music on that album, you know, and some really cool songs. But yeah, Brendan O'Brien was a fantastic guy. I learned so much from him about music, about writing songs, really. And when it came to the mixing, how he approached that. And this is the old days, man. This is no computers anywhere. Everybody gathers around a giant desk and everyone's got a finger and the tape rolls and this is the mix. And you literally, it's like playing an instrument in the old days. You go, this comes up here, that goes down there, that comes up there. Right, if you've got a finger spare, when this happens, you turn that up and then you take it back down. Wild. Different days. That's what people were like, man. It's crazy, crazy times. But, of course, magnificent results that we had with both those records we did with Brendan O'Brien.
You guys had been a band for some time before that point, so if it's cool, if I can throw things back just a little.
You can try.
You were born in Birmingham, I believe, but where did you actually grow up? Was it just outside Sutton Coldfield area, or where was it?
I was born in Birmingham, and south of Birmingham is where it's actually, you're not even going to believe this, Rob. It's a village called Hollywood.
Destiny. It was destiny.
Yeah, village called Hollywood. And I went to Woodrush High School. They've never invited me back to do a talk. You know, sometimes they invite people, oh, come back, do a talk. Tell all the students, you know, that it's important to study and you've got way. Because I think they know if they invited me back,
they know where it's going to go.
It didn't do me any good at all. Any good. It was when I got into music, that's when my life started. So don't worry about being a failure at school because I failed everything.
Mate, you didn't.
No, that's why they won't invite me, obviously. So, yes, I had to Birmingham, and then I moved to Tamworth when I was 15, and that was a start, really, I suppose.
Have you got brothers and sisters?
Yeah, I have. I've got 2 brothers and a sister, and they've always been very, very supportive of me. So I'm very, very lucky in that way. And, you know, Tamworth had a thriving music scene. 20 bands. 20 local bands, from crack pop to progressive music to all sorts, every genre. That's how it was in Tamworth, and everybody would play with everybody else. So, you know, you play with like the country style band or the pop band, you'd be on the same bill. You'd say, oh, can we use your drum kit? Yeah. Can we use your amp? Yeah. And it was like that. Everybody did gigs with everybody else. It was just normal. It was like going back to the 60s or something.
Was there anybody in particular you looked up to?
Yeah, there was a lad, I can't remember his second name now, it'll probably come to me. A couple of lads, one, Graham, fantastic guitarist, and another, Norman, who actually made his living as a full-time busker for a long time. Stormy Normie, great guitarist, wonderful sense of melody, great songwriter as well. And they had some good songs. And Graham did some wonderful things on lead guitar as well. So, yeah, there were a few at that time, coming up, looking, oh, they're good,
I used to like all the local bands. They were heroes to me. Now everybody's in a band and like everyone knows a guitarist and stuff. But back then it was like, holy shit, what guitar has he got? What amp has he got?
Yeah, that's it, man. Before all social media, it was just important to, basically we wanted to be the biggest band in Tamworth. And that's it. That was our goal, man. It's, and the most outrageous, I think, that we were certainly the most outrageous band in Tamworth.
As you were becoming a teenager, there was the whole punk scene happening, but still a wave of like great hard rock bands as well. Do you remember what the first album was you brought that you remember thinking, I need to go out and buy this?
No, I can't.
No?
No, I do remember, because everything was at school. I remember getting Queen Day at the Races and listening to that to death. And always going around to my friend's house. We were so lucky back then with what was going on in music. Led Zeppelin, I think, not long they'd done Song Remains the Same, where it's this big thing with it. Jimmy Page has got the violin bow on the guitar, just madness.
Just staring at the pictures forever.
Yeah. And we'd be playing records, going around to each other's house, playing records, listening to the first Black Sabbath album, Nevermind the Bollocks with the Sex Pistols. All of this coming at the same time. It's absolutely wonderful. Now, I feel so privileged. You listen to the radio, Motorhead on there, Judas Priest on the top 40 rundown, Iron Maiden top 40 rundown. It was an incredible time.
Was any bands dangerous to you back then?
I think the Pistols, let's face it, the Pistols were banned from the radio. You had to get somebody who looked old enough to buy Nevermind the Bollocks from the shop and take it out in a bag so nobody could see it.
Was it harder than getting a porno, Meg?
I think it was, actually. To get Nevermind the Bollocks out the record shop, if you were wearing your school uniform, you had no chance at all, And we kind of go around, oh, has he got it? Yeah, I've got it. All right, what time shall we come around? Oh, wow. Oh, man. What an incredible time in music.
It's one of them things like sometimes in like the 70s and 80s, you see things online where they say all of these albums were released in this year. And it's mind-blowing sometimes when you see it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the Odeon in Birmingham played a big part in your, let's say, rock education. I know Dio on the Holy Diver tour in November 83, I think it was a game changer for you. Had you seen anyone prior to that, or was that your first big gig?
Yeah, loads of people. Loads of people. Seen Diamond Head, Maiden, I think I'd seen.
What was your first Maiden album, just out of interest?
Was Number of the Beast. Yeah, and that was it. Number of the Beast was my first one. Number of the Beast, Peace of Mind, going through like that. Really liked Seventh Son.
Yeah.
Just the same as everybody else. An interesting thing, well, you may not think it's interesting, Rob, but I do, is I had Back in Black on one side of the C90. We used to get the cassettes and 45 minutes one side, 45 minutes the other. I had Highway to Hell and Back in Black on the same cassette. And, for quite a while, I thought it was the same singer.
Yeah.
And this happens later on, of course, spin it forward. This happens to me because people listen to my album with Maiden, The X Factor, and they go, Bruce does sound different on this record, And eventually, people work it out. And, Blaze Bayley's the singer on X Factor and Virtual 11. And then fans go down the rabbit hole and discover the Blaze Bayley solo career, 11 albums, and then some people have never heard of Wolfsbane and stuff like that.
That's kind of like a cool thing, which has probably come up with streaming now, because they might just be going through Spotify, I'll listen to some Iron Maiden, they might see the album of X Factor or something like that. Oh, this looks like a cool one. That's the first one they click on.
Yeah, I'll tell you what happens. The new album, a lot of hardcore Maiden fans go, it reminds me of the X Factor. And then other people are going, I've never listened to that album. So this is with the new album. People are going back and listening to my era of Iron Maiden. And it's mind-blowing. Then they listen to my War Within Me album. It's incredible. But it's just a few people going down the rabbit hole.
That's all you need.
I'm not trying to be big. I'm just trying to play to a few extra people at the gigs I already play. I don't want to go back to stadiums. I've been there, at arenas. I like playing about, 500 people, about right for me, down to 100. Between that, that's where my music, I feel, and my performance, that's where it works nice. Great when I was on Sweden Rock, on Wacken Open Air, on Bloodstock. Absolutely fantastic to be on there. A lot of fun on the big stage. But my bread and butter gigs, it's about being personal.
Yeah. I think they're the energy as well. That's where the energy is.
I've got to look people in the eye when I'm singing. That's a very important thing.
You want some beer splashed on you every now and again.
Well, occasionally it happens, That's why I don't wear fancy clothes.
What was it about seeing Dio on that gig then? If that wasn't your first gig, what was it about the Dio gig that really had an effect on you that perhaps other gigs hadn't? Because I think it was at that point you thought, like, I want to do that.
Yeah, well, I'm a young man of 18, 19. I'm working night shifts. So my life really, I've got no social life apart from with other people that work in the hotel. And I listen to a lot of music at night, and also they had a baby grand piano in the hotel. They never locked it at night. And so when I finished my work, I'd have a little plink on that, ding, ding, ding. And the Hoover, I would sing along. And when I was hoovering, I would sing my favourite songs and things like this. And when I saw Ronnie James Dio perform, and I'd never heard anything like his voice, and this is 100% live, 100% live. In the misty mornings, on the edge of time, reaching for the stars, we blind the sky. Damn, they say.
Was it Goosebumps?
Wow. It's just incredible. And I had my night shift to go to. I had to go to work after the gig. And I'm pushing that Hoover around the hotel. And I'm thinking, am I always going to be pushing a Hoover around the hotel, mopping up sick and checking in drunk people? And I thought, well, if there was something, if I could do anything, what would I do? And I thought, well, I'd be exactly like Ronnie James Dio. I would be in a band, singing, being on tour, and go around the world singing in a rock band. And then the next thing, which was, I suppose, the real epiphany, was, well, why can't I do that? And I couldn't think of a reason why I couldn't do it. I'm a young man, healthy, all of that. I thought, well, why can't I do it? And that was it. Then I started to get a lot more serious. I started trying to write my own lyrics. When I had a break on the night shift, I'd start writing lyrics down and I'd practice a little bit on the piano. I'm not a naturally gifted singer at all. I'm not a naturally talented person in that way. I've learned to sing because I wanted to be a singer.
How soon after did you see the ad in the Tamworth Herald where a band was advertising for a singer?
Gotta be just a couple of months. Gotta be something like that. Heavy metal singer required, no experience necessary.
It's written for you.
I phoned them up. Yeah, come for an audition.
Who answered the call?
I think it was Jeff Haitley. Jeff Haitley and Jace Edwards were in a band together. They'd started a band at school, which wasn't going anywhere, and people had left, as is normal when you start your first bands, And they said, yeah, come for an audition. It's the back of Jeff's garage. It's 6-watt amps on the sideboard to try and make it louder. There's no microphone or anything. We didn't even know any covers. Nobody's ever done an audition before. So it's like, well, see what you've got. See if we're working on this idea. See what you've got. Come up with something to go with this. And, of course, I thought I sounded like Ronnie James Dio when I opened my mouth. But actually, I sounded more like a donkey being choked to death after it's been kicked in the bollocks. So I thought I was going, oh, they say that it's over. But actually, I was going, ah! And it was a couple of weeks, and then they phoned me back and said, okay, yeah, you're in. Wow.
What was the other guys like?
I don't think there were any other guys.
You were the only option.
And I think that's how I got it. I think I've never asked them because I'm too embarrassed. I think probably I was the only guy that went for that audition. And then it was after that Wolfsbane started. It's not my band. It's the band of Jeff and Jace Edwards. And then I came along, and then Steve Danger came along. And the original lineup from the first album that's the Wolfsbane that keeps going. And we've made albums since the reunion, Wolfsbane Saves the World. So, yeah, we keep going. We've got another Wolfsbane album. We've been able to get together enough. We've been double jabbed, and Jace Edwards has his own very nice home studio. He's a great producer, wonderful musician. And we've managed to come up with 10 brand new Wolfsbane songs. They're in the rough mix stage at the moment, still need a bit of work, but they sound more Wolfsbane than Wolfsbane. I don't know how that is. It must be like, some kind of distillery effect. Miserable as sin the other night. Really down. I get into a funk, and I had to check through the songs. And Jace sent me the thing, have a listen, and anything that you think you need to change. And I put it on, man. I couldn't be miserable. I was smiling all the way through it. So I think this next Wolfsbane album, it's going to come out in June, probably June, July next year. It's going to change the world for a lot of people that are suffering from miserableness. When we bring out that Wolfsbane album, it'll be all the digital platforms, and we're trying to get the CDs and the vinyl made. But when people hear that album, they're not going to be miserable anymore.
That's all you want from music, mate.
That's it.
Who's changed the most in Wolfsbane since those days when you were riding around in a van all over the country?
Well, I think that is the problem. Because when we get together, it's like reverting to the people that we were. And that's when the music is still the same. You come out, you would think we'd have changed. It sounds just like Wolfsbane. We haven't changed at all. Everybody looks a bit older, apart from Jeff, who's some kind of Dorian Gray character. Right, there's an album cover somewhere with Jeff Fateley on it, the bass player, and it's probably looks like a creepy old man with 3 gorgeous young guys. And now we're 3 creepy old men with 1 gorgeous guy. That's not right. So, yeah, but we've hardly changed. Apart from, I think the biggest change is everybody's much more easygoing.
Yeah, the little things aren't such a big deal like they used to be.
Exactly. Things that we'd have actually had an argument over and not spoke to each other for a week. It's just like, oh, do you think that's better? Okay, let's do it like that. Done. No problem. So it's good, really. I think that's the main thing. Everybody's older, mellowed out. It's not life and death, because it's not life and death, okay? And it's much easier to write a song and get things together, but it sounds just as good, if not better, than we did back in the day. So it's a lot of fun. But there was a truth to what we did before we were signed up. Being in the van, doing your gig, selling the demos that you made, no out of contract, nothing there, the T-shirts that you paid for the printing of and got them, selling them to the fans at the gig. That was so honest and truthful, and we played to more people then as an unsigned band, just on word of mouth and a few magazine reviews, and we had incredible fans, the Howling Mad Shitheads, and it was incredible. And all through my career seems to have got further and further away from that truth, that very simple truth, that the fans are the most important component of rock and metal music. They are the ones that make it work. And it just seemed to be moving further and further away. And then I've got my solo career, I'm out of a deal, and I think, you know what? I'm not going to try and get a deal. What's all this sign up? Sign up for what? Now they have these hideous 360 deals where the record company takes everything, the gig fees, the merchandise money, everything from the band. And I'm like, you know what? No. So I was able to get together my own record company. I'm tiny. I'm the only band on it. I'm totally and completely independent. I have support from a lot of wonderful, wonderful fans around the world. I have a great team that work for me and with me on Blaze Bayley recordings. And I'm very, very lucky. I have incredible support, and it's right back to the honesty of turning up, selling your own CDs I've made, we've got from the factory, the songs that I've wrote, the T-shirts that we've it's back to that. And it's very, very satisfying.
How crazy is it? It suddenly all makes sense.
Here's the problem with the 80s and the 90s. It's so money and financial orientated that music and fans of music became things. And big adverts and big advertising campaigns. Oh, we'll get people to buy this. An album that wasn't good, that people just put out. Oh, well, we'll have sold enough to cover the costs before it gets bad reviews from fans. And anyway, we didn't have the social media that we have now to interact with each other. And so that is a terrible, terrible time in music, I think. And there must be so many really talented people that just got nowhere because it was all for profit. And that was it. The punters, well, they're not gambling, are they? Fans aren't gambling. We listen. If we like the band, then we'll support them because we want to hear the next album. That's the kids. I was 35 years of age. The kids. What? And so were a lot of other fans. Oh, the kids. What? It's a completely condescending, disrespectful attitude to fans. Where my shows, there's a free meet and greet at every headline Blaze Bayley concert wherever it's possible. People come, they have the selfies, get the stuff signed. Yeah, I first got into you on this day, or, this is the song that got me through when my mum was ill and things like this. It's very, very humbling. And these are the people that I'm writing my music for. These are the people that support me and say, yeah, I'll buy the next album. Nothing's written. Don't worry, I'll pay for it now to support you and make it possible. That's really honest, like it was back in the day before the first record deal. And I'm hoping that there'll be some kind of breakthrough with social media going forward that means young bands, or new bands, not young, new bands and new musicians and people who want to have really got something to say and something interesting to do can get to us so that we know about them. That's my dream of the future, that it'll be, wow, yeah, that's mind-blowing. That's really cool. And I think it's happening bit by bit. I do think it's happening.
Wonderful, man. Just kind of in closing, Blaze, you have a new album out, which you're out on tour supporting, War Within Me. Let's see it. I know it's there somewhere.
It is here. There you go. And my hardcore fans, this is people that got everything I've ever done. My hardcore fans are saying this is probably the best album I've ever done. So that's amazing that some of those fans think this is the best. They love it. Everything has gone into this.
You can tell as well, there's so much heart in that, man. Everything, the way it's presented.
Thanks, Rob. Look at that. Look, gatefold, yeah? And look, a magazine that goes with it. It's got all the lyrics in, little photos of the tour. Look at that. Size the artwork, man. Forget your CDs. We never wanted CDs, Rob, did we? We didn't want CDs. Oh, you've got to have it. The clarity, they're as clear as that. No, they weren't as clear because now you can look at it and you can go, right, how much information can be stored on a CD? Not as much as a vinyl record. You lying bastards. Right? They gave us the CDs. Oh, it's so much clearer. No, the only advantage of the CD's digital recording, no hiss. I'll give them that. No hiss. But even so, the bastards, you listen to an old classical recording, they'll put it out, they won't take the hiss off it, which is very simple with modern recording technology and mastering. They said, you can drive your car over the CD, it'll still work. I never drove my car over my vinyl.
No plans
what
to do that.
What am I doing? Put your CD in the freezer, get out, still work. Who wants to freeze the CD? What idiots? They don't even deserve to be able to listen to music, right? If they're putting their vinyl collection in their freezer. Rob,
Mate.
It's a disaster. The people that make the money is the record companies. Now, here we are in a situation where you don't need a bit of plastic. You can collect the vinyl. You can collect the CDs. and you can listen digitally, and now it's just as good as any other thing, and you don't have to have it. So, it's a different world, and I think it's a different world for new bands. And I'm going out in the next few months and the next year. My schedule isn't so tough, and looking for those new bands and getting excited about British music all over again.
For sure. I saw you perform at the recent Stone Dead Festival near Nottingham back in the summer. What I loved about your set was that it was a real unapologetic metal show, but at its heart, it was obvious that you're having so much fun. How have you held on to that teenage fire all these years when it comes to writing, recording and performing?
Well, I think being an idiot is a part of it, There's a certain thing, that 14... something happened to me, and I think it happens to a lot of people at these ages. Something happens when you hear your first proper metal and you hear the power chord, then you hear your first guitar solos, and something's there. That has never died. So whenever I've been in the studio, whenever I've been writing, it's always been that excitement of listening to something for the first time, that 14-year-old part of my heart, and that has gone. And on the War Within Me album, what Chris and I were doing, it had to be positive. Because of everything, my fans have been there for me. They've been positive. They've helped me through everything, through thick and thin, good and bad. And it had to be positive, and we just went on it. And I was such an arsehole, man. I'm so difficult to work with. I'll say to Chris Appleton, amazing guitarist, fantastic, wonderful songwriter, incredible sense of melody. I'll be going, power chord here, Chris, big power chord. And he goes, and then, no, keep it going. Go on, hang on to it. Now the riff. Go. And then solo here, yeah, melody part. What? Faster. Oh, man. It was just, yes. And you listen back to it, and you go, oh. How do we start the album? It's got try a little kind of keyboardy, softy. No, I don't want that. I tried something up. No, I don't want that. Different things going on with the drum. No. I say, I'll tell you how we're going to start it. Just the riff on the guitar. He goes, oh, you sure? I said, yeah. So I said, this is classic, man. This is like stand up and shout. This is like some of the greatest things, like Paranoid. It's like some of the greatest songs ever written in the history of rock and metal. Start with the riff. You think Smoke on the Water? Dun, dun, dun. And I was like, no, man, we start War with him. It's just the riff. It goes, gun. And it's like, oh, okay. And then it comes to the mixing. Like, we're in the mixing stage when I'm saying, right, this is how it starts. I'm going, no, it needs to be 3 dB louder. He's going, well, it's already pretty loud. And this is a 14-year-old heart going, yeah, it's pretty loud, but it's not loud enough. And so the album starts, and it doesn't just go, dun, 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 and then it kicks in, it goes, dun, 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 dun. Fury and might, the wolf is alive. Back from the darkness, moving towards light.
Ah, yes.
Here I am, man. I'm fucking Dio. I'm channeling Ronnie James Dio.
Oh, man.
On the War Within Me album. On the first song, I'm channeling that.
That's like the full circle. That teenage rock and roll heart's still beating strong, mate.
And it's there on the album, all of that influence, and then seeing Ronnie that night in Birmingham, everything's come back, and it's there, and it's on an album that I could just be so proud of, because my hardcore fans really like it.
Blaze, I love that. Just so much passion. Still, to this day, it's great, man. Thank you for chatting. It's been brilliant.
Well, thanks for having me on your show. I hope I didn't break it.
Yeah, there might be a few volume levels I might need to adjust, but
yeah.
I expected nothing less.
Blaze Bayley broke my show. All right, I'll see you soon.
You have a very Merry Christmas, mate.
Thanks, Rob.
All right.
Cheers, mate.
What a legend, right? The one and only Blaze Bayley right here on the Straight to Video podcast. I hope that came across as much fun as it was to record, and please make sure to check out Blaze's new album War Within Me, which is out now, and all the info you need can be found at blazebayley.net. It also goes without saying that Blaze would truly appreciate you checking out his Christmas song Crazy Christmas, which is streaming everywhere along with its video over on his YouTube channel. We will soon be hitting 150 episodes of the Straight to Video podcast, so be sure to follow on your favourite podcast platform, or you can find them all free to listen to over at stvpod.com, along with loads of Straight to Video music, videos and merch too. 150 episodes is a lot of chats, and I hope you're continuing to enjoy them, and thank you all for the great support and messages you continue to send, because it really means a lot. But that's all for this fully loaded metal edition of the podcast. Hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to when we get to do it all over again. Speak real soon.